Well, welcome back, everyone. It's wonderful to have you all here, and I'm very excited to present our speakers this afternoon. Now, each of our speakers will speak for 5 to 7 minutes. We are on a tight timeline, so if you see Katie or I stand up and start to come towards the lectern, that means time's up and you need to wrap it up. But I am so excited to introduce our incredible speakers today. You'll hear from some amazing, absolutely amazing women. First up, I'd like to welcome to the stage Candice Wilson. Candice is an award-winning entrepreneur, mother of two, the founder and CEO of Blooming Tails, a leading pet care business that was built with passion and purpose, with 2 locations offering 7 amazing services. Candice loves nothing more than empowering ambitious individuals entering the pet care industry and mentoring them with 20 plus years in the industry and a strong commitment to animal welfare and ethics. Please make her very welcome.
Thank you so much, Peace. And oh my goodness, this is amazing. Thank you, ladies. I'm speaking on stage in New York. This is amazing. So you've already introduced me, and I actually wrote my speech on giving you a bit of an intro about what I do. And I was going to say, I love something that comes in all shapes and sizes, that's fluffy, that's short-haired, and that, my friends, is the four-legged friends and dogs. So I have a passion for animals and dogs, and I opened up my pet care business 9 years ago in November. I've led a life of passion in the pet industry from the age of 13. And it wasn't until the age of 28 that my purpose came aligned, and becoming a mum and my purpose of, becoming a mum and knowing my why. It was that moment for me that I promised myself I would focus on my mindset and every day of waking up and living a life that was positive. So it's a practice of mine that I do. Each day I wake up and I promise myself it's going to be an amazing one. And that has led me to be the founder of Blooming Tails. We are an award-winning pet care service business. We have 2 locations. We are in Artarmon, which is a doggy daycare where dogs come with their bags, packed lunches, they run through the doors and they live their best lives. So that's Artarmon, but I also have a 5-star pet resort in the Hunter Valley. We have a magnesium wellness pool for the dogs where they get to come and swim. We have private bungalows that my farm hands get to sleep in with the dogs. And I have 35 staff that are animal enthusiasts, and boy, are they amazing. So we have a space where dogs come and they live their lives. Animal welfare ethics is my passion, and my purpose and my passion came together. And like I said, mindset for me is everything. And so I wanted to share that with you ladies today because, you know, it's something that we all can have a conscious effort of doing. We can wake up each day and promise ourselves we're going to live a life that is an amazing one. And have no fear, like all you ladies spoke about on stage here. For me, being up here today is a huge milestone for me. This year, I promised myself I would say yes to more things, and I'd put myself out of my comfort zone, and I'm here today, and I'm speaking in New York, so it's amazing. So I'm super proud of this moment. I guess I wanted to speak on a little bit of the culture here of me being in America. Oh my God, I'm so excited to see dogs in shoes. Dogs are in prams. They're like people are carrying them on themselves. And I'm just like, this is amazing. I've even, I'm doing yoga on Saturday with dogs. So I'm super excited. Katie gave me that light bulb moment today of doing something extra while I was here, and I'm going to be doing that on Saturday. So ladies, I'm just so excited to be here and share a little bit about my story. If you love dogs, please follow me. It's called Blooming Tails, and we are an award-winning pet care service business, like I said, and nothing brings me more joy than seeing dogs live their best lives. So follow me on Instagram, and Have a beautiful day, everyone. Oh, sorry, that was part of it. Yeah, I'm from Australia. Yeah. My dog location is in Australia, but I have been to Oz Trade here in America, and I have a vision to enter the US market. It is something on my radar. So hopefully in a year's time, I will, or maybe even 5 years, who knows, we'll see. I'll be up here saying that I'm in America too. So follow me. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, Candace. That was amazing. So it's now my great pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Aytekin Alieva, Forbes featured community builder and a founder of the Femigrants Foundation. Having started her career from humble beginnings, Aytekin's unwavering determination led her to excel in renowned Fortune 500 tech companies such as Instagram, Facebook, NVIDIA, and HTC Vive. Please give her a big round of applause and welcome her to the stage.
I got too excited, didn't wait for applause, just came to the stage. Thank you so much, everyone, to be here. Before starting, I want to ask, how many immigrant women do we have in the room? Immigrant women do we have in the room? Great. Any immigrant woman living in America? Great. I am an immigrant, originally from Azerbaijan, and I moved to Tennessee to study social media marketing, and then to California to find my job and live there. But as an immigrant woman, I faced so many challenges and struggles that led me later to create a community for immigrant women. This is a topic that I feel close to my heart. As an immigrant woman, community building is something important that we women struggle a lot to find, especially when we move to a new country. I ask these questions to all immigrant women. Did you have any place when you just moved to a new country just to go to a network? Raise your hand if you had. I didn't have. There were resources to help me to write my resume, to prepare for the interview. But when there was a time to find people who are immigrants, who were 2 steps ahead of me, who could guide me, there were not any resources for me to lean in and get their recommendations. Coming from my own struggles, being in a situation, walking door to door with my husband, asking restaurants to hire us as a server, despite having social media degree in America, and my husband graduated marketing in London, we had to go from low bottom to take our steps and our steps to the door. Moving fast forward, I interviewed hundreds of immigrant women and realized that I wasn't an only immigrant woman coming through this challenge, and decided to build a community for immigrant women. So community is not that you think maybe it's getting likes on social media. Community means you build a trust with people who later you can turn into revenue. Even big companies like Apple or Lego, they all focused on building communities first before selling their products. Like Apple creates exclusivity, and Lego gives opportunities to chances to communities to be creative and build their own project. With Femigrants, I also aimed to give exclusivity and create exclusive events like elegant brunches and dinners, panel discussions, finding all powerful and successful immigrant women to join our conferences or small networking events. Number 1, to help increase their visibility, to tell their stories, saying how they make a social impact. And number 2, to connect other immigrant women to these successful leaders on top, because cold message doesn't always work. right? And getting access to this powerful woman, they were able to become co-founders, to land a job opportunity, and to do businesses and services together. So many success stories comes through our events. So tonight, I want to empower and encourage you for your future or present business. If you would like to grow your business, focus starting on building a community. I started with 10 community members, and now we have more than 7,000 community members from all over the world. Thank you. So if you would like to learn more about Femigrants Foundation and our events, please feel free to reach out to me, and I invite you in February to come to San Francisco for our annual forum. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Adachin. Okay. Our next speaker is a local. Ilona Lipari, founder and CEO of The Life School, speaker, best-selling author to numerous books, award winner, show and speaking events organizer to an audience of over 30,000 plus, a purpose-driven service-based entrepreneurs and corporations. She has supported 100 plus companies double and triple their impact and revenue through fractional and business management operations and HR services. Please make Ilona very welcome.
Thank you so much, everybody. It's such an honor to be here, a local, just a drive away or a train away, subway away from Brooklyn here. As soon as I found out this amazing community happening, I love to share my message with women and purpose-driven entrepreneurs. I'm so glad I found a lot of purpose-driven, and also I love your mission behind helping immigrant women, especially because that was my story. I came here when I was 15. My parents struggled, and I grew up very fast. Achieved the American dream, thought that would be my highlight. I had built a family, climbed the C-suite level in a corporate as a regional director, only to find out that, wait, they lied to me, I'm not happy. And all my life I had achieved because I thought I was not good enough. So, the only way to achieve was actually to gather a lot of accolades and just keep moving the dream up. So that's kind of where entrepreneurship showed up for me, and a little voice, an inner voice, which I ignored for many years, because who teaches us to listen to our intuition and our soul and our purpose? I ignored it for many years until I really didn't have another choice, because of outside circumstances were really driving me to make a change. So entrepreneurship showed up for me, and now my call-in, my channel is to help entrepreneurs with business and leadership to scale their companies that are purpose-driven and really flip the script between profit and purpose, because we can actually have both. A lot of purpose-driven entrepreneurs, including myself, I had to change a lot of niches at the beginning of my business. I thought I needed to do this or that, because if I listened to my gifts and intuition, that was not something I could market. So nowadays, it's really amazing to understand that there is somebody for everybody, and our energy attracts the right audience. I love that we talked about community. I've always been very I guess, focused or oriented towards community, because that's where service and contribution happens. And that's where we can create an impact. So today I love to help companies scale purpose and profits. 80% of my clients are women, which I love to see women shine their light, because I really believe that in society, whether you're called to be a mom or not, I have 2 kids. Women are the glue that holds everything together. And when a woman lights up and she finds her path, everybody else gets the benefit, the kids, the husband, the friends, the mom, the dad. So I really feel very strongly to share my message of leadership. We all have self-leadership within us. And as long as we understand how to connect the dots and pay attention to the things that actually light us up, that's actually connected to our path. And the way that I help companies do that is by mirroring, or I guess marrying the old ways to build a business, which is branding, marketing, sales, systems, and team, which are still fundamentals, but do that in our own way, because we're authentic. And the only way to stand out in today's world and create magic and feel fulfilled is to absolutely marry both. And when we can do the traditional doing and the being, I love that I heard a lot of that in the panel before between the amazing authors, we can align both of those things, and we can be unstoppable with creativity and intuition as women, because we have that naturally anyway. We just never really had the spaces to be able to showcase that and create from that heart-driven, centered way. So that is my passion. That is my mission, in empowering women to level up their leadership and build amazing, successful companies that they can exit from or utilize them as a channel to their legacy, or maybe use it as a philanthropy channel. Because as women, we have social causes in our heart. My social cause is to help women and girls in underserved areas that were affected by domestic violence and mental health. Both of those things happen in my home. So I really understand how important it is to be able to, with the profit that we make, to align and do good in the world. And even with our service, I love to focus in the service space because of the servient heart and being able to create amazing transformations for my clients and also my clients' clients. And that's how we can all come together and really leave a legacy and build a world that's definitely better than it was yesterday. I also feel like we're very responsible to be able to do so, because at the end of the day, we don't just come here to whatever, grow a family, get surrounded by the roles that we're part of. We're here to really leave a legacy and to innovate and create from the heart and our intuition. So thank you so much for having me. And if you resonate with anything I do, at least I would love to connect with everybody. I value relationships. We can get connected on LinkedIn. That's the best channel. I'm sure we're both on there as Alona Lapari, and we can pursue the relationships and see how our missions unite and our visions unite, so we can absolutely do more good in the world. Thanks so much for having.
Thank you so much, Alona. Well, now I'd like to welcome back to the stage Andrea Carter. Andrea is an incredible woman. I've already introduced her, so please make her very welcome.
I hope you don't mind that I'm going to do something that I would never normally do. My husband actually ended up having a small heart episode and was in the hospital on Saturday. So where I normally would be incredibly prepared, he actually was just released from the hospital this morning. And so I was able to be here. So just really grateful to be here. So I hope you don't mind. I'm going to test out something new that is not necessarily committed to my memory just yet. And I figured that this would be one of the safest places that we could do that. And so I just appreciate all of you here with me today. So I'm CEO, founder of Belonging First. I have about 18, almost 19 years of experience in the corporate world. And I specialize in helping organizations create thriving cultures, really through neuroscience-based strategies that are built on belonging, which is why I talk about belonging first, because that's actually one of the critical pieces that brings people together and really ignites the human condition to want to be motivated and show up. As a strategic advisor and an adjunct professor, I really do work really closely with leadership teams. And there is this whole element to me that is so data-driven, because that's where I've come from. But really my passion, what lights me up, is that I get to watch what happens from the human side. So while I have the science behind it, it's the human side of seeing people get excited to go from being completely disconnected and disengaged to really jumping out of bed and wanting to do more and wanting to show up. So I really wanted to focus on two really powerful concepts that I talk about in the book, which are learned helplessness and learned confidence today with you. These concepts, they're not abstract psychological terms or concepts. They really are, they directly impact our ability to belong and to thrive. And particularly that happens when we're in challenging environments. And I don't know about all of you, but as I've shared, it's been a challenging time. And so even in that moment of being in the hospital and watching my husband, literally be shocked back to life, that was probably one of the most helpless moments, where I was watching someone who has been my partner for 30 years. And in that moment, we have this element of what it feels like to be helpless and to believe that we have no choice and that we have no ability to move forward. But learned helplessness was really coined by two psychologists, Martin Seligman and Stephen Mayer. And it really, what it does is it describes a state where after repeated failures or negative experiences, like I was just describing, we actually believe that we have no control over our circumstances. And what's really interesting is that that's actually not true. So learned confidence, what's really fascinating about learned confidence, and you see me get excited, is because when we actually start looking at the latter side, where we can find ways to advocate, whether that's for ourselves, whether that's for another, when we look at our efforts becoming futile, becoming an element where we are putting our whole being into something, it actually takes us from this space of feeling powerless, disengaged, into the ability to know that we can contribute and we can make a change. So on this side of learned confidence, this is built through trust. It's built through resilience. It's built in the belief in yourself. And we have to actually start recognizing small victories. So I just shared with you, that really humbling, scary situation. But every moment where I saw small victories with my husband, I just knew that it was going to be okay. Right? I knew that I could lean into past situations that looked so bleak and awful. When I was 18, I had cancer. I wasn't supposed to be able to have 2 children. I have 2 incredible, amazing children now. So all of these, thank you. So all of these things that we go through are elements of learned confidence. And this is why it's so important for us to learn how to, in the face of exclusion, in the face of bias, in the face of obstacles, really start defying what that messaging looks like and what it has been for us. Because when we can show up, and you've heard this so often tonight, in our authentic self, we can move mountains. So why does learned helplessness and learned confidence actually matter for belonging? Because that's actually my area of specialty. And in my recent article in The Conversation, I actually talked about the backlash of DEI and the state that we're in right now. And really what DEI efforts currently have done is they've created spaces where there's fear and there's exclusion that's actually driving a lot of our culture and the way that we're coming together, or are polarized and we're not coming together. So when employees experience learned helplessness, which is what we've been talking about, what happens is that they withdraw, they disengage, and their potential contributions, they actually go unrealized. And this has a ripple effect. And the ripple effect is that when we allow that to happen, we actually can't achieve the innovation and the growth, because the very voices that we need to hear aren't there speaking up anymore. So on the flip side, fostering learned confidence actually is a game changer. Leaders who create environments that encourage learning from failures, that recognize and validate differences, that empower teams to thrive. It's about making sure that everyone's light shines, not just the few that fit the traditional mold. So when we cultivate learned confidence, we dismantle the conditions that breed helplessness, and we create spaces where people are more likely to take risks, they're more likely to innovate, and they contribute to their fullest potential. So this shift in helplessness to confidence is also central to creating a culture of belonging, because it values each individual's unique contributions, and we cannot allow our contributions to be seen and heard unless we actually step in to that element of learned confidence. In closing, we must remember that belonging isn't a passive state. It's an active process of creating, fostering, and nurturing spaces where people can grow their learned confidence. Belonging actually requires that I am 50% responsible for you, and you are 50% responsible for me. And if we are not rising up and matching each other to create an environment where everyone can thrive, then we are actually doing more harm than good. So it's about showing up. It's about pushing through adversity and about shining our light on worth and potential, no matter what those challenges are. So let's commit to creating spaces and environments that prioritize learned confidence over learned helplessness, where every individual has the opportunity to belong and ultimately thrive. Thank you.
speaker, Wendy Moore. Wendy Moore, more commonly known as Zendy Wendy, is an international retreats coach and a certified life coach. She has 20+ years experience hosting and attending retreats and traveling the world. She owns a 100-acre retreat center in Nebraska, USA, and she strategically uses her expertise in travel, marketing, project management, and hospitality to help female entrepreneurs plan and host profitable elite retreats, which is the perfect blend of her unique business offerings with the magical connection of in-person events. Please join me in making Zendy Wendy very welcome.
Hi, everybody. I want to make sure am I close enough on this? I hope so. I am Zendy Wendy. That's what my joyful nickname is. It's how I am. It's who I am on social media. But my real name is Wendy Moore. A little bit about me. I'm a mom of 7, and I'm the youngest of 11. So as I joke around, as I'm an international retreats coach, everything in my life has been a group activity. Going to dinner, making a reservation, it was a group activity. So this comes very easily to me, arranging group events and strategically focusing them on women entrepreneurs and how they can create something magical inside their business. So as an international retreats coach, what I have for little intentions for today is I hope that you leave this talk. I have 7 minutes with you. I hope you leave it feeling lighter. I hope that you learn something or remember something that we almost forgot. Like that's my goal here. And the third one is that when you hear something today, that you take it out and you live it. You may not go do a retreat right away. You may attend a retreat right away after hearing some of the things I say, but you may be able to get with women a little differently, gather them together, see them differently, and really focus on what you're doing in your business and capitalize on some of those feel-good moments. So today what I'm going to talk about is turning moments into momentum. It's something we do all the time inside of a retreat. If you think about the peaks and valleys of a retreat, I'll tell you a quick story about one retreat that I had actually in this city. It was an international retreat, and my client lives in Australia. So to her, international was coming to New York, which I love those ones. I love it when I can just fly across my own country and create an international retreat. She has a mastermind where she knew people for years online. In fact, we have a couple people in the room who actually attended this retreat. So for her, coming to New York was creating that intense, that busy, that motivated, not busy in a bad way, but busy in a good way, like a vibe. And so what we talked about is inside of her retreat, what is something that she does that nobody knows? Because when we talk about turning moments into momentum, the element of surprise is a big one. So it doesn't always have to be, but it's a great one. So she taught hip hop classes. And so what we did was we rented a studio downtown New York City and brought 12 to 15 middle-aged women and gave them a fun painted shirt, gave them 15 minutes, said, meet us in the lobby. And we walked down in our tennis shoes and our Haley's hip hop t-shirts, our bandanas and our sunglasses. And we went and learned an 8 count. So what's really fun about that is that we use somebody's strategic and unique gifts that weren't really related to her business. So I want you guys to think about for a second, what do you have as unique gifts that you kind of keep away from your business, that you don't necessarily share all the time in your business? So as we get a little bit more factual on turning momentum or moments into momentum, we're going to go through quick 8 steps. Number 1, being open, always being open. Like the example that I just used, she had to be really open to decide, yes, in my retreat that's centered around my business, I'm going to teach some ladies how to dance. In fact, I'm going to teach them how to hip hop. But it was amazing. It was an amazing experience for everyone, but she had to be really open to think about that. The next thing is when you find that time when you're open, the ideas start to flow. So sometimes that happens magically. Raise your hand if you've ever had these amazing ideas that come to you in the shower. Anyone? How about when you're drying your hair? Okay, yep. Anytime you're on, maybe in a long car ride or something, guys, we can create those. We can create those open moments. There's music that we can choose. Find that walk that you like. Just find yourself in nature. For those of us in New York, see the back in the back, you might have to find some meditation music. You don't have a ton of nature around here, but you could go to Central Park and find that open space so those ideas can flow. Step 1, open. Step 2, ideas. Receive the ideas. When you get those ideas together, step 3, create the plan. The plan isn't about getting it all done speedily. It's not about doing it as fast as possible. Don't confuse speed with momentum. Momentum includes what you have in the component that is moving. So it's not just speed. It's not just about getting it done fast. So then we've got that plan, and no plan is any good without a timeline. So goals without deadlines or goals without timelines, common phrase, are just dreams. So when you're creating a plan, you definitely want to make sure you apply a timeline. So working through open, we've got the ideas, we've got the plan, we've got the timeline. Now we're applying the effort. We've got a whole bunch of dynamic women in here that think, okay, I'm going to do that effort. Don't be afraid to include someone else. Delegate, delegate, delegate. Find your genius zone, hang out in it all day, every day. And those things that are not your genius zone, plug someone else in. Get out in places like this, meet people, connect, find people that use someone for that thing. Ask them how they feel about that. Ask them what their experience is. And maybe tap into that person. What a great way we can all connect the dots, right? And really help the next person who does that thing. I hear people talking about marketing. I hear people talking about advertising. We just heard about some of the meetings that people are having. Gosh, figure that out. If you don't know sales, find the person who says, hey, we're looking to help people about sales. Plug people in. So on that effort piece, and then what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we maintain focus. One of my favorite things I learned, I'm on the road, I'm around the globe nonstop, and a driver that was driving me, I asked him how to say magic in another language. I'm not convinced I know what the language was, but he said it's focus. And I said, oh, F-O-C-U-S? And he said, no, F-O-K-U-S. And so I constantly talk about how magical focus can be. I want to pull in and help my female entrepreneurs who are planning retreats. I want them to have focus so that they can create focus, both of those. And then once we keep that focus and we run it through here. And then what we have is we find that we make our way to the destination. But sometimes we forget the very final step, which is to celebrate. Celebrate is the glue. We're talking about all the little moments that we've got through here, creating this momentum. You've got your openness, you've got your ideas, you've got the plan, you've applied the deadline, you've instilled the effort with you and others perhaps. Now we've actually gotten to that place, a couple of steps down the road, we've got our destination, and now we celebrate. So one of the things that when I started 2024, my word for the year was momentum. I didn't know, fast forward, I'd be here talking to you about momentum in New York City in October. But here I am. I've added up all of these moments working with such amazing female entrepreneurs, planning retreats all over the world. I just got back from Italy. I was in Australia, seeing you guys before that. I know people that are doing retreats in Spain, in Mexico, in Guatemala, a service retreat in Guatemala. I want to make sure all of you guys know about that. It's amazing. And I wonder if anybody in a few months, when it comes to 2025 and you're choosing your word for the year, I wonder if you will choose momentum. And who knows, maybe keeping the momentum going, I might choose momentum again. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. It's now my great pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Justine Williams. Lifting people up is within Justine Williams' DNA. A true professional and much loved by her clients, she left a career in advertising to become a clinical hypnotherapist, specializing in anxiety. She has won awards for her groundbreaking fairy tale audiobooks and toolkits, the first of their kind globally, helping children and parents build essential life skills like resilience, confidence, and self-worth. Her pioneering work continues to transform lives globally, helping families thrive in today's fast-paced world. Please join me in welcoming Justine.
I will be using my notes. Picture this. 38 years ago, no mobile phones, no internet. It's the boiling hot summer of 1986 in big, bad, dangerous LA. Two sisters, aged 13 and 15, have been abandoned by their mother, who has flown to New York after stating, "Holiday mum is done and dusted. It's my time now." With 2 days before departure, back to Sydney, a total of $100 cash, plane tickets, their luggage, their mother's excess luggage, a 5'4" giant fluffy white teddy bear one in Las Vegas. These girls in a foreign country had to find a way to survive. Scared, in fact, terrified, imagining the worst case scenario of their predicament, the 15-year-old took charge. A steely grit began to emerge from within her. She reframed her thinking and took a leap of faith. Not only did she get her sister, the giant bloody teddy bear, and all the luggage back to Sydney safely, where they spent 2 weeks home alone. But this young girl discovered she had a superpower. Its name, resilience. With that tucked neatly under her arm, she walked confidently into the local milk bar and persuaded the owner to set up an account in order to buy food. She promised her mother would pay the bill upon her eventual return. And if she didn't, this teenage girl would work every Saturday in the shop until the debt was paid. To ensure the debt was low, the girls ate the cheapest items available. Of course, candy and chips. However, the 15-year-old girl added one more thing to the item. She was feeling somewhat rebellious. Cigarettes. Because she figured she was a grown-up now and she could do whatever the hell she wanted. And that formidable attitude has served her well at times. You can label it courage. You can call it survival instinct. But underneath it all is the foundation of self-belief and a deep knowing that anything is possible. And that 15-year-old girl is now a 53-year-old woman standing here today. And that is me. Thank you. My life now is a mother, a friend, a colleague, a partner, a therapist, and an author. In my work as a writer, I create enchanting fairy tale audiobooks that are specifically designed to plant the seeds for courage, resilience, self-esteem, self-belief, and hope. So every child that listens, every child worldwide can acquire the tools and resources they need in order to flourish. Because you know what? As we all know, life's inevitable changes will, at some stage, or I should say life's inevitable challenges, will at some stage knock the wind out of their sails. In one of my most popular fairy tale audiobooks, A Horse Called Thunder, the main character, Thunder, lives his life confined in a paddock in fear of being zapped by an electric fence that surrounds him, a fear that remains even after the fence is replaced by string. Then one day, from the other side of the fence, another little horse called Sparkles and a wise wizard frog, they come along and inspire him to question his self-imposed limitations. Thunder needs to find the courage to experience life beyond the fence. he can jump over it, he can dig under it, or he can find some other way to conquer the barrier that is holding him back. As Thunder explores ways to overcome his fears, listeners learn the crucial life lessons that often the barriers we face exist only in our own minds. And he takes a leap of faith. And let me tell you who is really good at taking a leap of faith, and that is athletes. In my clinic, the elite athletes I treat have very different mindsets to the population average. They are driven, they are ambitious, methodical, and wonderfully dynamic. And you know what? I've come to realize that entrepreneurs are no different. As a female entrepreneur, and more importantly, a woman changing the world with her work, you are essentially an athlete of the business world. There is no doubt at all, that you've had times of struggle and your journey has taken every last droplet of sweat, energy, and even your sanity at times. I know that. But here is the inescapable truth that I would like to share with you. You can and will get through anything and everything that life throws at you. In order to turn the volume down of fear and dial up the courage, grit, and perseverance, you only need one thing, just one. And that is to look at the evidence of your past challenges. The evidence is there. What seemed impossible at some stage in your life, or at many, are those moments that you have suffered beyond gritted teeth and tear-stained cheeks, but you somehow found a way to unfurl yourself from the fetal position to blossom beautifully into the woman sitting in front of me today, a woman of character, a woman who has grown her wings, who leaps with faith each and every day, who has strength tucked under her arms, a woman who is changing the world. And it is my deepest honor to meet each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Justine. It's now my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Becky Edwards. Before becoming a small business accounting coach and cash flow specialist, Becky had a 23-year career in small business accounting, holding every position from bookkeeper to CFO. She has mentored and trained women business owners across the country in over 25 different industries. Becky loves showing small business owners how to confidently manage the money in their business. Her clients learn personalized strategies that help them achieve their financial goals. Please join me in making Becky very welcome.
Hello, everyone. I am Becky Edwards, and I created my business, The CFO Mindset, to help female entrepreneurs and small business owners develop trust and confidence with the money in their business. And today I am excited to talk to you about my very favorite subject, money. But I promise not to bore you with rambling on about profit margins and cutting expenses and projecting revenue. Today, I want to talk about you and the lives you are changing with your mission and purpose and your business. But before we start, or as we start, I want you to stop for just a moment, and I want you to think back to the very beginning of your business, even before the beginning of your business, when you were just starting to think about I want to do this thing. I want to work for myself. I want to create this business. And I want you to put in your mind those reasons, or that one reason, if there was one or a few, that really were your original motivations for starting your business. And over the last 25 years, I've worked very closely, intimately, one-on-one with small business owners. And I know that you probably started your business for one of three reasons. We have time freedom. So if time freedom was something that was really a motivator for you, you wanted to control your calendar. You wanted to have the flexibility with your own time. And that was something that you were really seeking to create for yourself. The second one might have been creative freedom. Whatever it is that you do, you wanted to put your own flavor on it. You didn't want to follow someone else's rules. And the third reason that most people start small businesses is financial freedom. They did not want to you did not want to cap your own income based on someone else's payroll budgets. And so all of those things, all of the things that you've done since the very beginning of your business, you have intentionally or unintentionally created a community of people around you. They are your employees, your volunteers, your vendors, your suppliers, and of course your customers. And all of these people believe in and support your mission. And all of that activity around those people in that community, all of those things that those people do in and around your business require one thing: cash flow. Simply put, cash flow is the money coming in and going out of your business. It's the money coming in through sales and the money going out to support the operations of your business. And that is just a basic description. But that is not what cash flow really is. Cash flow is the lifeblood that keeps your mission alive. And without it, you don't have much of a mission to move forward. You lose that momentum in your business. Most business owners believe, as long as I'm profitable, I'll have good cash flow. And good cash flow means that you can pay your bills on time, and you can invest in your growth, like attending the summit, and you can build a solid, stable financial foundation for your business. But take it from me, there are a lot of profitable businesses out there that struggle to pay their bills on time, that struggle to invest in their future growth, and who cannot build that stable financial foundation. And so today, I am going to tell you 5 ways to guarantee good cash flow in your business and also the survival of your mission. And this comes from the 20+ years of experience I have of working very closely with businesses who have both survived and not survived. So I'm taking this information from the trenches and delivering it to you. So the first one is obvious. It's profitability. Spend less than you make. That's about all there is to say about profitability. The second one is learning to read your financial statements. There's so much juicy goodness in even the most basic 2 financial statements that you might be very familiar with, your balance sheet and your profit and loss statement. And if you are not familiar with those or aren't sure what you should be looking for or what those things are telling you, I want you to decide right now that you are going to find someone to help you understand those things, that even on a basic level, because it's really the financial story of your business. It's what's working, it's what's not working, and it's so valuable. The third one is what I call timing. I like to say, receive your money fast and spend it slow. So timing is much more of an art than math. And sometimes we look at timing and we're like, how does this matter? How does it matter when I pay my bills or when I receive my income? But if you are a person who loves paying your bills early and often, right? It makes you feel good. It makes you feel in control. That is a really fast way to cripple your cash flow. I want you to trust the timing of your payment terms and allow them to work in your favor. So receive your money fast and spend it slow. We don't want to pay our bills early, and we also don't want to pay them late. There is a very beautiful balancing act there. Now, the fourth thing to guarantee good cash flow and the survival of your mission is probably the biggest one. It will take down a business faster than any of the others. And I want you, if you haven't got there yet, I want you to wait until your processes are optimized and your business is profitable before you scale up. If you grow an unprofitable business, your financial losses grow with it, and things crumble very quickly. The last thing is prioritizing cash reserves. This isn't sexy, okay? It's not sexy to open a savings account for your business and put money in it. But having those cash reserves in your business allows you, as the business owner, to handle emergencies like an unplanned tax bill, or it allows you to jump on an awesome golden opportunity without bogging down your business. A negative cash flow in a business will keep you from paying your bills on time. You won't be able to pay your bills on time. And you certainly won't be able to invest in the growth of your business or build that stable financial foundation for your business that you need to scale up. When you develop the trust and confidence with your money, you create an environment for you yourself to thrive in. When you feel confident, I was going to say comfortable, but yes, comfortable as well. When you feel confident with the money in your business, you take opportunities that maybe you wouldn't otherwise take. You are standing in your power with money, and you take these opportunities that really help you grow and help you stand in alignment with your highest self and your highest purpose and your most extraordinary mission. A side effect, a beautiful side effect of an awesome cash flow in your business is that you might find yourself in beautiful rooms surrounded by like-minded women, and the number of people who now support your mission has grown exponentially. The world needs your message and your mission and your purpose. You need a CFO mindset to make that happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Becky. I'd now like to introduce our next speaker, Liz Courtney. Liz is an international translational science communicator working in the field of climate and sustainability. I have already introduced her, so please make her very welcome as she returns to the stage.
Thank you. And I would say, what an amazing sunset. I wish my crew were here. I would say, lights, camera, action, let's get it. Anyway, did I ever imagine in 2010 that I would be standing here at Women Changing the World in New York? Not in my wildest dreams. And I'm sure many of you would not have imagined that going back and would share the same sentiment. So firstly, I'd like to congratulate everyone in this room for turning up today and for being such amazing achievers, changing lives and changing the world. During my talk, I'd like to take you on a little bit of a journey through my life, learning to live fearlessly, a life that nearly ended on the way to the North Pole, that saw me get lost in the Amazon jungle in the middle of the night, and helped me truly find myself for the first time on the Greenland ice sheet. And let me tell you, being a woman on a 1,000-kilometre expedition with an all-male film crew did come with a set of challenges. But as women, no matter what dreams we have or the businesses we create, those nagging moments of fear, can I do it? The what ifs, am I really good enough? They can really take hold. And today I just want to share a few stories from my own unexpected Walter Mitty life and the lessons that have helped me to conquer these fears. A little bit about me, I actually spent 20 years striding the corporate halls in stilettos, which I used to love, and I was managing director of Ogilvy PR in Australia. I then became a co-founder of a communications agency. We took from 15 to 60 staff and we sold it to Leo Burnett's. It was at the same time I had my son and I thought, I'll take 12 months off and I'll be back. Little did I know my life would change, my feelings would change, and I really wanted to do something far more meaningful with my life than another Omo or a pet food ad. No, don't take me, Candice, for, pet food ads. So I left my comfortable life behind to start a small production company. And I was very passionate about talking about climate change. And 15 years later, I have done 55 documentaries and the largest body of work of a female director in the world on climate change. And that didn't happen overnight, and it almost didn't happen because in 2010, I was asked to direct a film in Antarctica. It was for Nickelodeon and Discovery. And I remember sitting at the dining room table with the kids and my husband, and I said, blah, 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 but I'm not going. And they're like, what? And I said, no, I can't go. Who's going to do the schedules? Who's going to do the school drops? Who's going to do the lunch boxes? All of that. And I thought, yeah, that's it. But when I sat down and I looked at myself in the mirror that night, I actually thought, that's not my truth. And I actually thought, what is my truth? And to be honest, I'd seen a film called A Perfect Storm, if anyone's ever seen it, which was a few weeks before I had to make this decision. But it was actually my fear that was holding me back. And I did not want to go on the Drake Passage. It's the roughest sea in the world. And I thought, am I going to let fear define my life? Or am I going to define my life? And I woke up the next day and I rang and said, if you still want me, I'll go. Anyway, we went. It was an amazing trip. On the way back, we encountered a Category 5 hurricane. And I called her on the satellite phone and I said, I don't think I'm going to make it. To which my husband said, pull yourself together. And the kids, the teenagers up on the bridge at midnight were going, this is the best ride ever. It's much better than Disney World. And I was like, okay, switch my thought process. And I thought, if I could survive this, I could really survive anything. So from that moment on, my life compass, I decided I would no longer be controlled by fear. I'd embrace that switch in my mind. And I began traveling to the most far-flung places on the planet, following climate sciences to document what was actually happening to our planet. I also learned the value of no's. I went to ABC, SBS, and a number of broadcasters in Australia with this big idea for a big series on climate change. And they said to me, it's a bit big. You'll never raise the money. Female film director, no, I don't like the chances of, no. I was so furious that I got on a plane 2 weeks later and went to Washington, DC. And I went to all the corporates, talked to all the broadcasters, and I got 2 callbacks. 48 hours later, I was sitting in LA airport waiting for my flight home on Qantas when I got that text message that said, we're in for the first million, let's go. And I remember that to this day thinking, if I had had any yeses in Australia, I would not have been so determined. But those no's fueled me to want to do this. And after that, the 7 other broadcasts who were kind of sitting on the fence came in. And I found myself 8 weeks later on the Greenland ice shelf, thousands of miles away, dog sledding across the Arctic. The huskies were in front of me. They're a bit smelly. But anyway, the wind was hitting my face and hopefully it was actually blowing in the wrong direction. But I actually heard this little voice inside me and it said, "Hello, who are you?" And I went, "Oh." And I heard, "I'm your adventurous self, one who's been asleep for so long. I'm so glad to meet you. We've got a lot of work to do to save this planet. So let's get going." And I realized that for so long, there had been another part of me that was trapped in me, but I had never realized that I was actually an adventurer. I loved adventure. I had no fear when I was out on the Greenland ice sheet, which totally surprised me. But I thought, moment of truth. Do we truly know who we really are? Is who you are defined by your family, your community, what people think of you, your work that you're doing? What defines you? And when you strip all that away and you're so on your own in the middle of nowhere, it's so surprising who you meet. Anyway, I realized that I'd spent years defining myself in the corporate world, but I was an adventurer. But I had an adventure waiting to test me. And that one moment on the journey tested me much more than any boardroom negotiation I'd ever done. And if you can imagine that we were traveling with Inuit Eskimos on a dog sled and we hit a lee. A lee is a break in the ice, about that big. How do you get over it? You run the dogs fast across the lee. Your sled goes with you. And you hope that everything's going to be fine. I was on the second sled that went across, and when we landed on the other side, everything was moving, it was marshmallow, and our sled started to sink. And we knew that that sea was not frozen. And we only had a split minute to survive. And we followed the Inuit hunters. We did not question, we were laser focused, and we found the adrenaline and the inner strength to get back. And we did survive. But in life and in business, whether it's pushing through fear or surviving the toughest storms, it's about keeping a focus and believing in our ability to succeed and push through with that courage. I think that I really want to share some inspiration to everyone here to step into the life they feel truly called to live and to trade your old identity for something more meaningful. Because life is an adventure and it's waiting for all of us to discover that fearless woman within. So a few of my guiding principles: no means go, turn the nose into rocket fuel, change your world. Your new journey might seem alien to everyone else around you, but to you, it feels like home. Don't choose, make it work. If you think you can't do one thing over the other, you can't be a businesswoman, you can't be a partner, you can't be a mother, think about how to blend it, because we're very good at blending and we can do it all. And don't let fear disguise itself as duty as a woman, because when we use fear to disguise our duty, we don't get to actually find out what it is we can do and we're meant to do. And it's never too late. There's always time to change course and to pursue your dreams, so don't hold back. In 2023, I landed back in Antarctica last year. It was an amazing time. I never thought I'd get there twice in one life. But this was special because sitting beside me was my son. And I had a few tears as I landed, but my son Dakota was sitting there as our satellite operator. And I thought, this is what it's called, playing it forward. This is the next generation. And I'm so ever proud that I was actually able to take him and it's actually changed his life. So my final words are from an Indigenous young boy that I took, the first Indigenous nation boy to Australia, to Antarctica. I said, "Malcolm, what did you learn by going to Antarctica?" I thought he'd say something sort of off the cuff. And he said, "I learned this. There are some people who dream and they wake up from their dreams. And there are other people who dream and they make those dreams their reality. And that's who I want to be. So I think we're all a room of dream makers here, and together we can support each other to make our dreams our reality and the world a better place for future generations to come. And the one thing I ask you to do tomorrow morning is this. When you wake up, I want you to look up into the sky. And I want you to remember just for a moment that you're actually living on a planet that is hurtling through space around the sun. And it is the only planet in our solar system that supports life. And that thin blue line in our planet is between us and space. And every day we put 4 atomic bombs into that space that supports us and supports life. So whatever you can do to be part of change, help us accelerate off fossil fuels to a sustainable future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Liz. Okay, I'd now like to introduce our final speaker for this evening, Abby Dyer Amonette. She is the CEO and founder of Lead with Positivity, a movement that empowers women to lead with confidence, purpose, and joy. Through her initiatives, including Global Girl Technology and Tennessee Girl Technology, she helps women cultivate positive, heart-centered leadership that balances professional success and personal well-being. With over 25 years of experience as a corporate executive for a Fortune 500, she's seen the unique challenges women face in leadership. The MyNext Promotion and the Positive Feminine Leadership Accelerator are 2 of the programs that she runs. Please join me in making Abby very welcome.
Thank you so much. I am humbled and inspired by the women in this room, every single one of you. It is a complete honor to be here with all of you. When I spoke to a group in London in May, I thought that 45 minutes with slides speaking about AI was going to be a real challenge. And then our lovely hostesses said, you get 7 minutes. And I said, wow, okay, what am I going to talk about for 7 minutes? I have spent a lot of years in corporate. I spent a lot of time developing and helping other women, lifting other women up in an environment that was mostly male dominated in healthcare. I recently, and I'm going to let you celebrate with me for a second, became a full-time entrepreneur last month. I've been an entrepreneur my entire life. I have always been someone who felt like I needed and wanted to make a difference to other people, make a difference in the world, be of service, be a servant leader, all the things in my corporate space that were really, really important. And I wanted to lift up women, especially diverse women. I started a product business 13 years ago. My spouse and I did leather goods and jewelry, very artistic. We have our things in Western North Carolina. And if you have not donated to the devastation in Western North Carolina and Tennessee, please do that. I am a Tennessee girl. I grew up in Knoxville, Tennessee. I live in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And what I've been working on the last 5 years or so is around tech. So around automation. I am very much the Gemini Taurus cusp that I am. I very much live that. I believe in positive feminine leadership as much as I do in the importance of tech and being able to inspire women to use AI and to use it authentically in their businesses. And that can be really challenging. It can be really challenging to find out how you make your voice come through in AI, but I think it's incredibly important, and I am passionate about helping women use tech and use tools. And I have gotten that motivation and passion from my son. So my son just turned 9. His birthday was Friday. He is high functioning, but on the autism spectrum. He has ADHD, and he is a beautiful brown little boy. And he has opportunities, but he also has challenges. And one of the challenges that we found tools, because I think tools are incredibly important, we found tools like ABA therapy to help my son. So when my son was 2, he had 10 or 15 words, rarely talked. I, as a mom, an advocate, immediately started researching, right? How many moms researching all the things, right? Being an advocate for your kiddo. I wanted to make sure that he had everything in this life that he possibly could. And I was dedicated to figure out how he was going to have the best life. Well, he's going to have the best life by having therapy starting at 2. And that ABA therapy has led him to being what is a beautifully average, but above average kiddo with a special brain. And we like to refer to it as a special brain. I have ADHD as well. And so we talk about the fact that mommy and son both have special brains. But it was tools. It was tools that I felt were really important for him to have the life that he deserves. In the same way that I believe tech and tools are what you need in your businesses in order to be able to have the freedom and life that you deserve. That doesn't come easily to everyone. And have you ever had either yourself or a friend say, I'm just not techie? Anybody? Yeah, I'm just not techie. Yep, absolutely. I believe that in the current business environment, everybody needs to be techie, right? You can absolutely pay someone else to do your sales funnels or your videos or whatever that looks like, but you need to be incorporating AI and technology into your business. You need to be making your life easier, and I promise it can. It can also be incredibly authentic and sound like you and your voice. And I can tell from hearing all of the beautiful women in this room speak how much you have to offer to the world. So do not be afraid of tech and tools. There are plenty of folks out there that will help you, that will inspire you, that will ensure that you can make those things truly authentic to you. I like to tell the women that I work with, the clients that I've been working with in AI, that we put the authentic I in AI, because you want your voice to be something that is truly powerful. You are absolutely women changing the world. And again, I'm incredibly humbled to be standing here and talking to you today. I'm going to say, find me on LinkedIn. My name is in the program. Find me on LinkedIn, find me on Facebook. I would love to connect with you and have the opportunity to just be in your worlds, because you are such incredible, incredible women. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abby. Well, what an incredible group of speakers we've heard from this afternoon. So we are now having a break, and we will be back for the Women Changing the World America's Awards at 7:30 p.m. Thank you.